Hello, welcome to Puerto Morelos, Mexico. We are in the adults-only all-inclusive resort. 25-30-minute drive from the Cancun International Airport. Excellence Riviera, Cancun. If you're thinking about staying here, or if you stayed here a long time ago and you're thinking about staying here again, I'm just going to talk very quickly about some of the things that I like about this resort. The first thing is, unless you stay at Valentin Imperial Riviera, Maya, and Playa del Carmen, which I've been to, I don't think you're going to find better pools in the Cancun Riviera Maya area. Again, that's just a resort I've been to before. I like it. Very comparable resort. Valentin Imperial Riviera Maya and Playa del Carmen. With that out of the way, this resort just really has amazing pools. Possibly my favorite, or tied for first, but two lazy rivers, just giant pools, and not just the size of the pools, but the amount of pools as well. You have this pool, which kind of starts at one of the lazy rivers, and then another lazy river and another concentric circle, which is over there. I'll show you. But just amazing large pools, and they're really never crowded. They never feel crowded, and if they are crowded, there's always a place where you can go and find some space to swim. And that's just another one of the pools that kind of leads into the beach area over there that way. And there's also a pool for the club only. But lots of pools, not just the size of the pools, but the quantity. So there's a pool that's more close to the beach where they have activities, music, more lively, and there's also the more quiet sections where they have some pools and two lazy rivers, which is quite amazing. So when you think of Excellence Riviera Cancun, what do I think of? I think of really large pools, lots of pools, which never feel crowded, and of course what you're seeing here, which you don't need me to say this, is lots of greenery. So it has a very tropical feel to it, and you'll really see that more in the Riviera Maya area rather than the Cancun hotel zone, which is more of kind of a commercialized space with like hotels that are very close together and not much space for each hotel. The land is probably very expensive there. As we just say hello to one of our iguana friends, and they're just kind of lounging around. So this is the other lazy river that I mentioned. You can kind of see it with the wide angle lens. It just goes around that way, and you can just kind of, here's a better view. Two lazy rivers, so if that one feels a little bit crowded for you, and they are lazy rivers, they do have a little bit of a current taking you around and around. You can go to this one if the other one feels too crowded. So this is it. It's the wide angle lens is making it look a little bit smaller than it actually is, but it's quite a large pool, and it also leads into the spa. If you purchase extra spa services, then you can use their facilities as well. That would be extra money. Some birds over here. It's very beautiful. The yellow birds that, I guess they're native to the Riviera Maya area. So here it goes around and around. That's one of the lazy rivers. Excellent Riviera Cancun. Large pools, lots of greenery, very tropical feel to it. And you're hearing birds all day, really. It's very peaceful, it's very calm. So let me just maybe take you around to one of the other areas so we're not just standing in one place. I'm not going to comment on the food. I mean, it's all-inclusive, so you have restaurants open, a breakfast buffet. They don't have a lunch buffet here anymore. But there are options for lunch, like restaurants, and I think they also have room service. So I'm not going to comment on food quality because it's subjective, but there is food available. There are bars. There's a mini bar, so all-inclusive. You have entertainment. Of course, not everything's included. If you wish to purchase some extra excursions, spa services, extra bottles of wine, something, gift shop, something of that nature, it might not be included, but the core elements are there, which are hallmarks of an all-inclusive. You have your breakfast buffet, restaurants available all-inclusive for lunch and dinner. And of course, I'm just going to say this because, again, not to say like, oh, putting myself on a pedestal here, but yes, tipping, if you can tip, then that's great. I know it's all-inclusive and you're paying thousands of dollars sometimes for a top resort, and especially if you're going with a family. But I will just say, if you're one of those people, if you just weren't sure if it's acceptable to tip at an all-inclusive, I will just say yes, it is very acceptable and greatly appreciated, but certainly not saying you have to tip at an all-inclusive. It's more of like, if you can, wonderful, they do appreciate it. If you just weren't sure if it's something that people do, like, do people do this? Yes, you can tip. Feel free to tip whatever you have available to give. Maybe set aside the budget for tipping if you can. Again, I know saving up a lot of money for these vacations, but if you just weren't sure, is tipping do people tip at all-inclusives? Just speaking of Mexico, Dominican Republic, where I've been, yes, absolutely, and it's appreciated. But I'm not trying to pressure you into doing so. It's just whatever you have. If you are able to set aside a little budget for tips for housekeeping, maybe the bars, restaurants, great. It's something that is tremendously appreciated by the employees here, and I know the argument against it's, well, you know, they do get a salary. Yes, that's true, but I will just say, from personal experience, it's immensely appreciated by the employees if you do have any money to tip, and I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that right there about tipping. So Excellence Riviera, Cancun, lots of greenery, huge pools, just enormous pools, and maybe I'll just show you what I'm talking about, just so that I don't just say it in isolation without any proof. So maybe I'll take you over to more of the beach area. So yeah, I just kind of showed you really the inside, the inland part of the resort with the greenery and the pools. Maybe I'll take you over to the beach just to show you what it looks like. So the beach in Puerto Morelos, it's kind of like, it's very nice. There is some seaweed in warmer months. But in the warmer months, the temperature is also very nice. So it's sort of like, when the water's warmer, there's more seaweed. When it's colder, there's less seaweed. So it's kind of like a little bit of a trade-off here. But one thing that always stays the same no matter the temperature is just this sand is extremely soft to a degree that is just always amazes me. Been here 3 times. So it's like walking in a liquid. The sand is just so soft. So if you're here at Excellence Riviera Cancun, I might recommend that like after 5 o'clock, maybe 5:30, 6 o'clock, go for a walk on the beach. Just feel the sand on your feet. It's just such a wonderful feeling. Because let me tell you, in the month of May, the warmer months, for me personally, living in the United States, where I live, I'm just not used to that level of heat and humidity. So I like to take a walk on the beach maybe in the evening when the sun is setting. It's just beautiful. The sunsets, Cancun and Riviera Maya, they're just beautiful. So here's another one of the pools. I'm telling you, I'm showing you these pools are just out of this world, really. And I know you'll see some pictures and you'll think, oh wow, the pictures look great. But not an exaggeration to say that in person it does look as amazing as it does in the pictures. Really, that's the exception to the rule, that you can make any resort look nice by taking pictures. But the landscaping is immaculate, and the pools are amazing. I mean, in my opinion, they could vacuum and clean the pools a little bit more, but that's fine. The pools are great. So I'll just leave it at that. Great pools. It's a large territory. You can already see from maybe the length of this video that I'm doing a fair bit of walking before even getting to the beach. So the pools really take up the center of the resort, and the buildings are kind of like around. So you can do a semicircle. You can pretty much do laps around the resort, unless you go through the pools area. The bridge is over there to get to the beach. So I want to show you the beach just to show you this resort is on the beach. I mean, you can find that out for yourself, but I'll just show you where the beach is and what the sand looks like, just so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. Right, show don't tell, right? So there is an Excellence Club, which is kind of that way, and that's, you know, one of those typical club levels where you pay more money per night per room, and you get some extra privileges like an extra bar or some, I don't know, maybe better alcohol, I don't know, other kind of services that they have, an extra pool. Hold on. So they do have pools here, as I mentioned earlier, that are more lively with activities, music, and they have an app for the Excellence Resorts. So all you do is download the app. They'll show you when you're checking in. They'll show you the QR code to get the app, and that app basically has it shows the entertainment activities, the menus at all the bars and the restaurants, and other information that's really helpful. So if you're going to the restaurants, just make sure you take your phone with you, and you can use their free Wi-Fi. It's unsecured, there's no password, so don't know if that's something that you should just be mindful of, but the Wi-Fi I found is very good at the resort. So I'm just going to take you over to the beach area. That area, you can tell, they really, in the afternoon, they have music and activities at the pool, which is nice if you're looking for a little bit more of a lively atmosphere. But me personally, I just kind of like to lounge around the quiet pools. So I guess things like aerobics and volleyball, and they also have beach volleyball, which maybe I'm not athletic enough for that, or just not good enough. But if you do wish to partake, there's activities. There's all sorts of activities listed on the app. And there are restaurants available for lunch, a couple of which, Lobster House and Oregano, they overlook the pool area. So, hello, Iguana. Definitely nice to eat, I guess, outdoors in the shade. They have the shade over there. But I will say, for me personally, the heat and humidity is just a bit much. So anyways, things I like about Excellence. I've had positive interactions with all the employees here, so I'm not going to say that, hey, I'm going to guarantee you the same experience that I have, because everyone has their different ideal vision of what an amazing vacation should be. I've had positive interactions with all the employees. They work very hard, especially in the heat and humidity. I like the staff. I like the restaurants. My favorite restaurant is Spice. They have sushi rolls and fish and dumplings. So Spice Restaurant, which is kind of in the lobby area, that's definitely my favorite. I haven't been to all the restaurants though. They also have a breakfast buffet with quite a nice selection, as I mentioned. And so what else? What do I like? The pools. I like the pools. I like the grounds. I like the staff. I mean, there's some things that, I mean, maybe make this not necessarily my favorite resort, but that's not for this video. It's maybe for another video. But they have restaurants that are open for dinner and for lunch, but just keep in mind that not every restaurant is open every day. I think a lot of the restaurants are closed maybe 1 day a week or 2 days a week, something like that. So this is another one of the pools that really is the pool with the swim up bar, which is over that way. So if you want to be closer to the beach, you can swim near the beach. It's not like you have to be in the lazy river pools, which are more inland. So as I said, there are pools pretty much everywhere around the resort. And speaking of swimming, yeah, so it's quite warm. The water looks great right now. I will say that in May there's typically a lot of seaweed, and there hasn't really been that much, which is kind of refreshing, because 5 years ago they needed a tractor to clear it out. It was a ton. So when it's sunny, the water has that nice turquoise look that you see in Cancun and the Cancun hotel zone, which is about right now. The water, there's really no waves in this section of Puerto Morelos, which is the town, the city that we're in right now. So there might be a red flag, but I will just say I went swimming numerous times. You can go where the rope is. There's a rope, so you can go just in that area. And I didn't really feel any turbulence in the ocean. So let me just show you what I'm talking about when I say the sand is really nice. And then maybe we'll conclude this video. The sand is really soft. It's quite amazing. I mean, it's definitely, that's why you won't really find any seashells. If you're gonna look for seashells in the ocean, you probably won't find anything except tiny, 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 tiny pieces of seashells. And no rocks, and barely any rocks either. Because the sand is so fine, it just over time, I guess, it gets ground and ground and ground until it's just like powder. It's like walking in a liquid. Let me just give you a little example what that's like. It's like powder. See? It's just that's what it is. Really soft sand, and it's very pleasant to walk in. But don't go running in the sand, just because it's hard to do that. It's really that soft. Quite amazing. So here it is. Like I said, it's like liquid. So that's what I like about Excellence. I like the beach. The heat and humidity in the month of May is maybe not for me, but that's because I chose to go at this time. So maybe January, February, October, November, December, those colder months are kind of more my preference. But the pools, the ground is the beach. Kind of typical things that an all-inclusive resort has. I think the resort does those things very well. It has its nice location, lots of greenery, and the pools are just amazing. Never get tired of the pools. So that's it. And I also like the staff. I've had positive interactions with all the staff members that I've spoken to. So that's about it. Excellence Riviera Cancun. It is adults only. It is in Puerto Morelos. It's about a 25-30 minute drive from the airport. If you wish to use private transfer, it's something that we did. You just go right to the resort from the airport, and then you're ready to enjoy your all-inclusive vacation. Prices do fluctuate. Keep that in mind. October, September, October gives you good prices. Maybe kind of a slower season, but December, January probably more expensive. Typically Cancun, Riviera, my area. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. This has been just a video, maybe not a quick video, but a video of things I like about Excellence Riviera Cancun. The pools, the grounds, the territory. It's very spacious. The beach, the sand is very soft sand, and there are no waves in the ocean. So when there's no seaweed, it's very easy to just kind of lounge around in the ocean and in Puerto Morelos, Mexico.